Hey sis. All right. Back again.
Welcome back to another episode.
Yes.
And you know I have a question.
Except for the last episode, but she always had questions. So
yes, I have a question. So I mentioned this a little bit on the episode. I don't remember what we called it. I think the one about surrendering, but and it stuck with me for a while, and I've been thinking about it. So I want to ask you, which is,
what if I don't have an answer?
You got an answer. Everybody has to have an answer. You have to have an answer. So, and if you don't have an answer, we're going to send you back with some homework. So, y'all answer the question too. Get ready. The question is, when did you first fall in love with God?
See? I don't have an answer.
Yes, you have an answer. You have an answer.
When did I first fall in love with God? I can't pinpoint exactly when, but I'll give a situation that happened that drew me closer to him. I mean, obviously at the time, like everybody knows, I grew up in church and all of that, but that doesn't mean that you had that relationship with God like you're supposed to. So I was going through something at one point, and my mom and I took a fast, and the answer to that fast came back like so fast, like within the fast. It was just like, oh my gosh, you could do this? Wow. And I was just like, okay, I like this. A couple of years later, something happened again, and we took a fast, and the same thing happened. So then I started, leaning more on God, and I started praying more and reading more, and I was like, okay, so he could do this and he could do that. But, years and years later, I said yes, and that's now in this time, and I just always knew that he has placed something in me. I didn't know what it was, but I would see things and I would get things, and I'm like, what does this mean? And I write everything down and date and time, and then it'll come back like a full circle. Like he'll remind me of those things, and I'm like, okay, I'm in love with this God, because the God that can show you those things and stand on those promises and remind you in those times, and then just take you back and answer those prayers, even the prayers that goes unanswered. Just because it's unanswered now doesn't mean that it's always going to be unanswered, but just knowing that we have a God that loves us that much and that deeply.
Yeah. You said that you felt something, and like you didn't know what it was, like you had for years, I guess.
Yes.
Something that you just like knew something was inside.
I knew something was inside. I knew it wasn't just natural.
Right. That's what I was going to ask you. So you knew it was, I imagine, because you were exposed to that, whether you believed or whatever, but you knew it was something spiritual or other than flesh.
Right, other than flesh, yes. It took some time to know that it was God, because I had to get in that space and that position in your heart and all of that stuff to be able to really receive and see what it is he has in you or for you. So, yeah. That was a long answer.
That's interesting. I have so many questions. That. You know I have more questions, but I'll tell you, I'll answer to tell you why, because I am the opposite, where I felt like something was missing. And I didn't know that I felt like something was missing. It wasn't until, like, I don't know, I've always had like now that I look back, I can see it, but I don't know at what point I understood it. But I think I never felt like myself with anybody. Like I never felt like I could be me, like truly me. No, now I'm growing into that because I'm learning who I really am.
Hello.
No, but like it was always something like I had to hold back from this person, or something extra I had to do for this person, or I could never bring my true all of myself. Like I used to always say, I have 35 people in my head and y'all only know one or two of them. Like I could never bring my full self to a relationship, and I didn't realize it at the time. And I had a bunch of friends. I was always doing this. I was always somewhere. I always needed to be somewhere. I always needed to be around somebody. And like, when I look back now, I'm like, I wasn't happy. Like I wasn't, and they weren't true. They weren't deep, meaningful friendships. I couldn't share any part of me really, besides whatever they had known. I didn't notice that was, like I needed something to fill me, but I was trying to fill it by all of these other things.
Right.
And it wasn't until, like I said on the podcast, that I saw God is love, God is in me, so I'm love, that I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Because I'm like, then at some point, after I got married, I had my kids, and you know, like my family, we've had a lot of, you know, drama, things happening with us, and like every family, of course. Mm-hmm. And I, like, in those situations, I would be like, something's not right. Like, this shouldn't be happening. Like, I shouldn't feel like this. I shouldn't feel like I can't speak my mind. I shouldn't feel like someone doesn't understand me.
Wrestling against flesh and blood.
Right. Like, I was like, this can't be it.
It can't be
like,
it.
There were there's one moment I was the lowest. And I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I'm feeling crazy. I'm feeling like, and I'm like, this cannot be, and I can't be the only one feeling this, number one. And this can't be what I'm made to feel.
You said it's different. I don't think it's different.
Only because you said that you felt something.
Yes, but at the same time, I felt something, but I didn't know what it was. So you know still missing. Yes. Exactly. So you're looking for okay, God, something's not right. What is this thing that I'm feeling?
In the way we talked about it. Okay, you knew there was something, and you were like, I didn't even realize there was something missing until now. Like, you know, looking back, I'm like, and I hit that really low point, and I was just like, and at that point, I still didn't like gravitate towards God, but I went to me. I was like, okay, this cannot be. I'm not crazy. This is not about to drive me crazy. People are not going to understand me. I'm going to understand myself, and I'll just be for me. Mm-hmm. And so I went on that whole journey trying to be me, and still didn't know anything.
And then it gets easier. The more deeper you get into his word, it gets easier because then the people around you start to see you like God sees you.
Yes. And also you seeking him. That was the thing, right? I was seeking this fulfillment through people and things, and that's not what we're meant to do. First of all, and this is going to be a whole probably series because you know this is my thing, like understanding, as I always say, love and what that means and the different ways that we love. I say English is trash. It's our language, thank you God. But the way that we understand love, there's one word that means all these other things. Like, how are you gonna say you love your dog and you love your kids or your husband in the same,
love God
using the
same
breath, but even using the same word to describe a material thing and like a person is crazy, and that's not the way that love works. But anyway, this idea of like the ultimate love or not even affection, because it's another word for love, but this ultimate feeling of acceptance and understanding and just like adoration is God love, right? Mm-hmm. And God is the one who can feel that. There's no man, there's no woman, there's no child, there's no thing on this planet that can fulfill that part of you or can fulfill you in that way. And so for me, and I'm sure there's a lot of us, I found myself seeking fulfillment and wanting, that love from people. Like, oh, you should love me unconditionally. And it's like conditionally, right? Like, oh, in order to love me or in order for you to love me, I have to do all these things because this is your checklist, or you have to do all these things for me to prove to me that we love. Even us individually have our own definition for love. What you need to be loved and what I need to be loved.
Your love language.
Like all of those things. And we just use this one word for universal and think we understand. Like, oh, I love you. What does that mean? What do you mean love me? Yes. So, for me, I felt like I was missing something. I realized that God had something. I still didn't know what that was. He said, I'm love. Like, God is love. And I went searching. What is love mean? What is this? Like, everything. Like, I still remember that day. It was a whole thing of just like, how it just, when it hit me, it was like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like, this is it. Whatever you want from me. This is what I've been looking for. This is what I was missing. And it was like, whatever you want from me, you're going to give me this. Mm-hmm. And he has never, he made that promise. This is right here. And I understood the promise finally. And I accepted it. And I said, I want it. I'm going to do whatever you want to give it to me. I received it. And ever since then, he has loved me. And so,
he loved you before,
and he loved me exactly. I didn't know.
Yes.
And my point in he's never stopped, right? I feel like that's the other thing where, especially growing up, right, as a parent or someone, it's like, oh, you didn't clean your room properly, or you didn't do the chores. Like, I remember my mom used to always tell me to leave the stuffed food out to defrost, and I would forget, and she would come home to cook, and the food is still frozen. Okay, sir. And that day I was in trouble. I better just disappear, right? Because she's gonna take a minute before she comes back to herself. God's not like that. No. But that's how we see it. Yes. And so after I heard God's love and I understood all of that, I still was kind of like, I can't bring that to God. I can't do that because God's gonna get mad at me. I can't do that. I was like, that's not. That's not how it works.
No.
Yeah, that's not how it works at all. So, That excites me, as you guys probably can see. Like, that is my, definitely part of my testimony. Like, understanding love, understanding that was just my moment for me. And
yes,
there's no turning back. Like, that's the thing. Those are the moments where, people ask, like, well, how do you do it? You're 3 strict. You can't do this. Like, can you do this? Like, I'm
3 strikes. Somebody said 3 strikes.
No. Like, strict.
Oh.
You have to be so strict. Like, I'm planning my celebration, and someone was like, "What kind of music are you gonna have? Like, are you just gonna have like?" And of course, I'm not just gonna play gospel music, but no, I'm not gonna just be playing anything that I want.
Right.
And like, not only is it because of my respect for God, but like, I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't want to just.
It puts you in a whole different place, a different space, and it also teaches you to love better, to love, your kids, your husband, your friends, as we should love our neighbors as ourselves. So just understanding the love that He has for us helps us to love the way we're supposed to love.
Exactly. Yes, and it helps us in those moments, like you said. It's not only is it just me and God, but it's everybody else, right? We need to love one another, right? As He loves us. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes people do things to you. Sometimes people say things to you. People don't understand you. Things. And you still have
and you don't want to be bothered with certain people at certain times.
You already know. And you still have to. I think I shared this before. That pastor that I do Bible study with, he said, and we'll talk about this when we talk about love, but it's an action. Like, if you need to forgive someone, how do you know you've truly forgiven them? You need to be able to go get them a gift and like give it to them. If you cannot walk in the store and get them a gift,
wow,
then like, nope, you haven't.
How many gifts we need to buy, y'all?
Now listen, can we get like a little gift card, a little Wawa $1 gift card? $5
$1 gift card. Like, I love you. Here.
But at first when he said it, I was like, oh, I could buy something for anybody. But it happened to me where I had to think, and I was like, I had to give a gift to someone, and I was like, I don't want this person no gift. I don't even want to think about. But
then that's where forgiveness also comes in place, because remember when I first met you, I barely knew you, but I knew you liked books, and I happened to buy her a book about forgiveness, not knowing anything about her, not knowing that it was something she was struggling with. And she was just like, why'd you give me this book? And I was just like,
I just got you a
book. And she was like, I'm never touching that book. I'm not opening it. I said, oh, you will one day. Now look.
Yes, I've come a long way. Forgiveness was like the word I never wanted to speak on. But it, and now I see myself, funny, working on something now. And it's someone who I have to forgive, and I have to forgive them like almost every other day. Mm-hmm. I have found myself needing to forgive them. Back to that. Remember that? If He forgives 7 times 7, like, yes. I have someone in my life who I have to forgive almost daily. Mm-hmm. And I have to make something, and I'm making something for them. And I'm just doing it. And I was thinking about the other day being like, wow, if this would have been last year, I would not have been making this thing. Like, I would not be doing this, all of these things that I'm doing for this person, because I would be holding on to that. But why I want to hold on to that? It's so freeing. And
free. Making
myself angry and upset.
And that person is moving on with their life.
And probably not. That's why I gotta forgive them every other day. They're not moving on with their life.
But they probably don't even care that.
No, my thing, I feel
depending
bad.
on the person. Yes.
I feel like you don't know. You are holding on to this and continuing to do new things. You don't know peace. Mm-hmm. If I'm having to forgive you every other day, you don't know peace.
Love, forgiveness, peace.
And it's so sad. It's so sad to know. And so that helps me a lot now with forgiveness, where it's kind of like, Tosh, like, think about that. This person is so angry and so upset and so this, that they're trying to ruin somebody else's whatever. Think about how that feels. You remember how that feels because you did the same thing.
Right.
And now look at how your life is, because you've allowed God to come in, shine His light, and show you that life don't have to be like that. Mm-hmm. And that peace, I feel the peace washing over me right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oof, you're right. Let me make this gift, because they need love.
Right.
They need love. That's my new thing. When I'm trying to like say something, like I was talking to my husband about something the other day, and he's like, what's going on? And I was like, they need love. And he's like, what do you mean? What did I miss? What's happened? And I said, we don't need to even recount anything. They need love. That's it. That's all we pray for them. That's all.
Mm-hmm. And it makes it easier.
And it
so much
easier.
So much lighter. You feel more at peace. And then hopefully that person can receive that love the way it was intended. And then that's not for you to worry about. That's for God to work on them.
Exactly. And that's a seed that you're sowing in them. When someone does come and when it's their time to hear God's truth, for them to, it won't be something completely new. Now, you don't have to go and preach to them necessarily, but just by showing, the fruit of the Spirit, just by showing that love, is going to show them who, because then they want to know, how can she be like, how can she be so calm?
Right.
How can she still do all these things? What's going on with her? What makes her different than me? Right? And it's like, nothing, like, my God got me. So, sis, like, what we being upset for? What we holding on to things for? Nothing you could do worry me. And unfortunately, you being used to try to get to me. I'm sorry, but
exactly. And
that's
the devil. That's the schemes. That's what he's going to do. He's going to go through people that you least expect him to go through, or people who don't even know that they don't even know. They don't even know.
They're chained. They're chained, and they don't even know that they're chained. And so we just need to pray for our peeps. Pray for our loved ones, our friends, people that we see in the supermarket that want to cut past you, the drivers on the road, that want to be impatient. Just don't let anybody steal your joy. Don't let anybody interrupt your peace. Don't let anybody change who you are.
It's not worth it.
It's not. It's not at all. And think about God and them children of Israel.
And I've been there to where I found myself saying, I don't even know who I am anymore. This person brings out the worst in me, and I'm being like this, and I wasn't like this before, and I wasn't like that. Now I'm so angry all the time. And when all of this transition happened, and I had to sit myself down and sit with God and like, no, that's not me. But if you allow yourself to be that person, then
and allow people to have that power.
Over you, that's a dangerous place.
Exactly. And we are here, and again, like I said, all this comfort circle, we talked about purpose and assignment. We have work to do. Prophetess told me we don't have time for all of this. We have work to do. We don't have a lot of time to do it, and it's not just necessarily work for us, right? Like, we're good, we're believing for him, we're praising him, we're doing all the things he told us to do, but he also gave us an assignment for the kingdom, right? For everybody, for you, for me, for her, for the kids, for the family, for everybody else. That's what we need to focus on. Nobody's sitting here harboring hard feelings and doing all this. We have things to do. We have a job to do. We have a little bit of time to do it, and then we can go and be with our Father, and let's get to work. That's it.
Let's get to work, sis.
Let's get to work. That's the perfect note to end on.
Yes.
Let's get to work, because we got some work to do over here. So we got to leave y'all now. No.
I know y'all got work to do too, so
let's get to work, and not that work. That's gonna be another one.
Not going to work.
Not that work. Get your paycheck. Do what you gotta do to take care of your family, but that is not the work we're talking about.
Part
okay,
of that conversation
get to work.
Respect my job.
I don't. Doris has quite a few.
I don't want to.
She has quite a few jobs. I can't wait to tell y'all about her new job.
Oh my god,
her new job.
That is good.
Yes,
my new purpose. It's not a job. It's my new assignment.
There we go. It's work.
It's work.
It's work, but it gives you joy.
It does. Yes.
It gives you joy. It's a lot.
And I'm gonna tell y'all one day.
Yes, I'm gonna tell y'all.
Stay
She
tuned.
don't tell y'all. So. On that note, get to work, guys. Figure out what your purpose is. What are your assignment? What are you working on for God? Where is God in your life? Even if it is just showing some love today. Is that your work? Is that your job? Is that what you're doing today? You're gonna go smile at somebody.
Yes.
You're gonna buy a gift for somebody that you forgave, even if you don't give some. No, if you go buy a gift for somebody that you're gonna forgive, you're gonna call somebody today and just tell them that you love you. Whatever your thing is, get to work, ladies. We got a lot of work to do. And with that, we will see y'all next week.